Basic Designing in Canva. In this lesson, we are going to be using a premium account or an account with subscription so that we can get access to all of the resources which we have in Canva. So let's start off with opening up our Canva software. Now, when you talk about designs or the design basics, we have to learn about the four key principles. So the four key principles are alignment, hierarchy, consistency, and also balance in a design. These four things constitute a very good looking design in wherever you want to use it or whenever you are trying to make a design. Now, what we're going to do is going to be opening up any of this preset and start using any or start making any designs. Now the first thing we're going to do is going to be clicking on any of them. Now let's start off with maybe a presentation, but instead you can also use a graph or maybe a logo, infographics, mug, whichever one you want. So from here, what I'm going to do is start off by using any one of this presentation or maybe a blank presentation. Now when you're using a blank presentation, you will basically see something like this, but I'm going to go back over here and we can also find something like maybe an Instagram post or maybe a flyer, desktop wallpaper. So let's start off with an Instagram post, even though we're not going to be making an Instagram post. But why we're using it is because the panel, or let's say the canvas, which is the page over here, is quite small and very good for graphic designing. Now we can also make it for various purposes. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is going to be going off to elements because that's the thing we need. Okay, so in our elements, so first thing we're going to do is going to be searching for maybe leaves. Well, I'm just going to show you an example. Okay, now I'm going to click on see all. So from here, I'm going to do is use any of these. Okay, so let's say I'm going to do is use this over here. Now I'm going to play with my elements. I'm going to do is shorten it up over here. Let's say I'm going to paste it over here. I'm going to do is make another duplicate. I'm going to do is take it over here. But first thing I'm going to do is going to be clicking on maybe flip, crop, or rotate. Now I'm going to do is flip horizontally, flip vertically, and there we go. Okay, we have two of these. Now what we're going to do is going to be putting in other elements. Now let's say maybe text or maybe some other stuff. Now the first thing I'm going to do is going to be finding out same things according to it. Or maybe we can duplicate it. I'm going to just put this underneath. I'm going to just take it a bit to the side. And what I'm going to do is take this behind, which I have over there. I'm going to just click on position. Now I'm going to do is take this one or maybe this one, which is underneath. This is, okay, this is underneath, okay, as this is under. So I'm going to do is click on edit image. Now I'm going to do is go down and I'm going to do is turn it into maybe a black and white one so that it looks different. Okay, I'm going to do is maybe find liquify. Okay, not liquify. I'm going to do is find a one which looks different over here. You can see it's a bit yellow over there. I'm going to do is maybe what we can do is increase the size. Here we go. We have increased the size. I'm going to do is go off the position. Now I'm going to do is take a duplicate of this. I'm going to do is click on flip. There we go. I'm going to do is put this over here. See? Looks quite better, right? We can do the same thing over here, but we're going to keep that simple. But another thing you can do is Control G, which is grouped. Now I'm going to do is take this, remove it. I'm going to do is copy the same thing. I'm going to do is Control C, Control V. You can see this is how it works. Now I'm going to do is click on maybe this over here. And you can flip it up if you want to. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. So click on the whole thing, click on flip, vertical, horizontal. And I'm going to press on Control Z first. And I'm going to do is select all of them at the same time. Click on this, and when you see that this is grouped up, it cannot be flipped like that. So what you have to do is do them individually. So I'm going to do is click on crop, maybe if you want to. Okay, but first thing I'm going to do is flip, and do the same thing on the behind. I'm going to flip. There we go. It has been done. So I'm going to do is take this at the corner first. Then I'm going to do is take it maybe right over here. Take it a bit over there so it can be done. Okay, you can also increase the size just like this, but I'm going to do is keep it just the way it is over here. Okay, now as we have our elements on two sides, now the first thing I'm going to do is going to putting in maybe, let's say, an image. Okay, what I'm going to do is type in a girl. Okay, hit on enter. We can use any animation, it's totally fine. But we can also use a photo if you want to. So here, when we already have this searched, we can use this maybe. What I'm going to do is use this. Now we're going to use hierarchy. Now just like I said, we're going to need hierarchy. Then we also need alignment and consistency and balance at the same time. So for this text, what we can see is that it is basically a square type of, just this page. So what we can do is take this over here and we can put our text over here, right? Which will look quite good. So first thing I'm going to do is going to be type in my text. Now click on text over here. I'm going to click on add in a text box. Now let's say from here, I'm going to do is type in maybe, let's say type in December 1 or 5. Now I'm going to do is change this. First off, we're going to do is change the color. The first thing I'm going to do is take it right over here. I'm going to do is change the font. Use whichever font you want. Let's say I'm going to use one of these, let's say I'm going to do is maybe use something which is readable, not something which cannot be read. Okay, let's try Bloom skirt. Okay, this looks really good. So I'm going to do is increase the size. Or we can use it over here. Over here, December 1 to 5. Or maybe somewhere around over here. Aligned perfectly. December 1 to 5. And what we're going to do is put in a couple more text. Let's say beauty parlor. Let's put it over here. I'm going to do is put another text box. Grand opening. Okay, so this is how it will work. But first thing I'm going to do is going to be changing how it looks like. So if it doesn't look good, we can do is change the color, maybe black, or maybe something like this, or maybe a bit different. Okay, let's just try a couple of colors and see how it works. Okay, we're going to do is start off with something around over here, but a bit darker. Let's say I'm going to do is try this maybe. Okay, first I'm going to do is click on over here. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to do is increase the size. Then I'm going to use the grand opening. Do is change the font if you want to. You can also change the color. It's totally up to you. I'm going to use put it black. And there we go. I'm going to do is also put it black. Okay, there we go. We have it. Or we can also put it like this. We can also keep it just like that if you want to. And so I'm going to use, you have to do is decrease it like this. Or you can also take it somewhere like this, and then you have to rotate it. Okay, so if you want to rotate it, you have to click it, and then you have to force effects, and you can also keep it like this, line spacing, anchor text box, just the way you want it. And then you will be also able to put in a list if you want to. It's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. There are also other options which you will basically see, uppercase, lowercase, and all of them. Okay, so use whichever one you want according to your need, and then there you go. You will basically have a very simple design which also looks very good. Okay, December 1 to 5, beauty parlor. I'm going to use increase the size a bit more. Increase the size. Grand opening. Here we go. I'm going to change it to black. Looks a lot better, right? Here we go. We have our very simple design, which you can see over here. Now what we're going to do is start off with other things too. Now, if you feel like this is not working for you, I'm going to press off, group them up together. And then you're going to do is put this in the middle. You can see like this. And then put maybe another element over here. Just like go into elements. And then I'm going to do search for maybe, let's say, aesthetics. Maybe a bit of flowers or something more. You can put it over here. Let's say I'm going to do is use it over here, maybe. I'm going to do is first off, flip it horizontal. There we go. Looking quite better, right? Then I'm going to do is go down, maybe. I'm going to do is use this underneath. So it can look a lot more better. Delete. Let's try using this. I'm going to do is go off to maybe position. And then I'm going to do is drag it at the bottom. See? Looks a lot more better, right? So this is basically how it works. You have to combine all of them together so that you can get this exact, let's say I'm going to also use this maybe over here. I'm going to take this underneath. I'm going to do is click on position, get this at the bottom, and you can see this is how it will work. You can see it like this. Basically, so I'm going to do is take this over here, decrease the size. This is how it works. And you can apply whichever type of element you want to put. Let's say I'm going to use this, like this, and there you go. If you feel like this is getting too much, then what you can all do is obviously remove them whenever you want. Let's say if I don't like it, delete this because it doesn't add up to it. You can see this looks quite good now. If it doesn't match up, delete it, find something else which will look good on it. Let's say something like maybe this. You can see how it looks like. Maybe I'm going to do is put two of them. I'm going to do is duplicate over here. See? Looks quite better, right? And if you want to fill it up with something else, it's totally up to you. The first thing you have to keep in mind is about the elements or the photo which you're using. You can see with this photo, there are flowers and all of those. So obviously try to use flowers and stuff so that it will look good. Okay? So hope you understood everything about this. Now let's try on using another one. Okay? What I'm going to do is going to be adding another page as we're done with one basic. Okay? So just like I said, follow the 4 key principles, which are going to be alignment, hierarchy, consistency, and also the balance. Now let's move on to our next one where we are going to add up different stuff. Let's say we're going to do is make it a very simple one. Now how do I do it? Let's say you want to do only text. Now the first thing I'm going to do is going to be clicking on text. What I'm gonna do is maybe first off, let's just find something which kind of looks good. Okay, I'm gonna do is use this shine, shine, shine. Now I'm not gonna do is change the color so that I can see it. Now as I have this shine, 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 I'm gonna do is take this and make it a lot more bigger, just because we need only the text, not anything else. Now as I already have this over here, now what I can do is put a small text over here. What I'm gonna do is put in a text box, but not this, text, okay, or not this font. So I'm gonna do is go back. And what I'm gonna do is cooperate or corporate, okay. What I'm gonna do is use this. Now, as I have this text box, I'm gonna do is first off, I'm gonna do is decrease the text size because we're gonna do is follow our principle. Now, what I'm gonna do is copy Control C. Then I'm gonna do is go over here, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay. Now I'm gonna do is first off, we're gonna put 4 of these. Okay, let's say 4 lines. Okay, let's just say this is a very simple text. I'm gonna do is decrease the size. Okay, there we go. We have our text over here. Now what we can do is also put another text over here. What I'm going to do is go down, maybe, and I'm going to add another text box. What we're going to do is change it to whichever one we used over here. Now we're going to make it a bit bigger, okay, so it looks good. Now one thing, again, I'm going to do is click on this, and I'm going to do is change the color. Let's say we're going to do something very vibrant, maybe something like yellow, or maybe something like this, okay, or maybe this. You can see already the difference, that the color, whatever I'm using, is still quite, popping up. So I'm going to do is click on this over here. Aligned well. I'm going to do is take this over here. Now I'm going to do is make 4 of the 3. But I'm going to do is select on Control A. I'm going to do is increase the size for this one. Now, as I've increased the size for this one, what I can do is click on this over here, increase it, Control A. I'm going to do is align it to be on the right side. I'm going to do the same thing over here, Control A, on the right side. I'm going to press on Control A. I'm going to make it bold. There we go, Control A. This one, Control A. I'm going to just change it maybe to white. Right? The white is quite visible. Okay, if it is not, what we can do is also click on this and maybe something not that white. Well, we're going to use white, maybe something like this. Okay, still not visible. So let's just say I'm going to do is maybe use black, total black. Okay, let's keep it total black. Then I'm going to do is click on this, and I'm going to do is change the color to white. Okay, one should be white, and the others should be black. See? Looks quite good, right? And we're going to do is we can use a bit of white text over here, add a text box. And I'm going to do is we're going to keep it just the paragraph. And we're going to do is make it white only, but at the same time, I'm going to do is decrease the size. Over here, I'm going to do is make it a lot more smaller. There we go. I'm going to do is change it to white. There we go, we have it. And then I'm going to do is maybe Control C, Control V. C, Control V. We have another one. What I'm going to do is put this again right over here. See? Looks really good, right? So it's just basically you have to follow these 4 principles to make whatever you have to make it look a lot more better. Now you can see it over here that we have a bit of space. I'm going to do is cut this off. And you can see this is how it looks. A very good looking one. Now we can also go make a very simple ones. Let's say I'm gonna do is gonna be making a bit different one. Okay, so I'm gonna do is go on add page. So I'm gonna do is change this into something like this. Very simple. Now here, what I'm going to be doing is going to be making in maybe a box. So I'm gonna do search for a box. Okay, okay, not over here. I'm gonna go off to elements. I'm gonna search for borders. You can see it over here. Now from here, I'm gonna do is maybe use this one. And obviously, I'm not gonna be using this one as it is. So I'm gonna do is going to be okay. Let's just find something a bit more thin, right? So I'm gonna do is maybe let's just use this one. Okay, is this good? Okay, this is not. So I'm gonna do is going to be rectangle border. Okay, we found it. There we go. We have it. So I'm gonna do is click on this, increase the size. There we go. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is going to be clicking on this. Okay, we're not gonna use any border. What we're gonna do is click on this, and I'm gonna do is make it somewhat like this. It just gives up the vibe, right? Nothing else. What we're gonna do is click on this border again, click on over here, go off over here. What I'm gonna do is find a bit more darker so that we can differentiate it, right? You can see it. Now I'm gonna do is going to be putting in my text box. Add in text, text box. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is make a bigger one. Now the first thing I'm gonna type over here is gonna be holiday, schedule, schedule, holiday schedule. I'm gonna do select on this, increase that. I'm gonna do is go over here. I'm gonna go back, and let's say I'm gonna do is find something which looks kind of, let's say paragraph typed. So I'm gonna do is use whichever one I want to use. Let's say I'm gonna do is use this, okay? But I'm gonna do is use bold so that it looks different and also better. Do is use this, increase the size, holiday schedule. Now, as I have it, so I'm not going to use the same color. So I'm going to do is go over here and use this because this looks a lot more better. All right? Holiday schedule. Okay. Now I'm going to do is put another text box, which you can see over here. And here, what I'm going to do is going to be typing in another thing. Okay. I'll say holiday schedule plans. There we go. Bold. Okay, holiday schedule plans. Now we can also add in a couple more things. Let's say we're gonna do is put another text box, your paragraph text here. You can just keep it just the way it is. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it here over here, okay? Company name. Maybe a company name. Okay, I'm gonna just put it right over here. There we go. I'm gonna just put it another text box, and I'm gonna just put in the date. Maybe December. Okay, I'm gonna do is make sure that this is underneath. Well, let's say January 5th to 6th over here. 12 p.m. 3 a.m. p.m. And let's say where it is scheduled. Let's say City Mall. Okay, so there we go. We have it. I'm gonna select on Control A. Make sure this is center. Increase the size. And there we go. We have it. Right? Just over here. Now you can also make sure that this is all going to be on the left side, or maybe all on this side. You can see over here, all according to that. You can also keep it right over here, which will also look quite good. But one thing is that I'm keeping this over here is because I'm going to be putting in something over here. I'm going to go off to elements. And I'm going to do is type in holiday. Now find out whichever ones you want find over here. Now let's say as this is a holiday, I'm going to do is put in 2 gingerbread men over here. Something over here. Duplicate it. And make sure to use a smaller one over here. There we go. Looks quite good, right? Now, if you still feel like it's not working yet, what you can do is that you can change the colors a bit. Not too much, but a bit. So first thing I'm going to do is going to be pressing on Control A. And then I'm going to do is make sure to use black on this one. You can see this is how it will look like. Control A. Make sure this is bold so it can be seen. Now, what you can do is also click on this one. Control A. Make sure this is black in color. And you can see this is how it works. Now, first thing you're going to do is going to be making sure that this is the small one. And this is the bigger one. Here we go. Looks a lot better, right? And if you want to add more to it, it's like totally up to you. Let's say I'm going to do is put something a bit more supple. Delete, delete. Put this. Duplicate. And take one over here, which is a bit bigger. See? Looks very supple and very decent. So, hope you guys learned everything about this lesson by following 4 basic key principles of designing in Canva. So you can apply this in all sectors or all categories if you want to, such as maybe graphic designing, which is going to be our next lesson. But we're also going to be using the same steps so that our same principles so that we get a very good looking design on Canva. See, it looks very supple, decent, and also good. So hope you learned everything in this lesson. Now let's move on to our next lesson. Just like I said, we're going to make a couple of basic graphic designs in Canva.